With us in the studio today is Professor Ingo Rehberg, a physicist at the University of Bayreuth and an expert on fluid mechanics. Maybe he can tell us more. Professor Rehberg, how can this knowledge about sand help us in everyday life?
Everyday life is influenced by money, I would say. And knowledge about granular matter can help you to save some money, because we are wasting a tremendous amount of money on the order of, roughly speaking, 50% of our energy we are giving to processing granular matter. This might not be obvious on first thinking. When one thinks of sand, we don't process it too much. But if you think of charcoal, for instance, or if you think of almost everything you eat, which goes into the factory in form of granular matter, these two examples should be enough at least to indicate that, precisely speaking, 80% of what we handle in the chemical industry is in the form of granular matter.
Now, there is an effect called the Brazil nut effect, which we've all experienced anytime we've bought a bag of muesli and the raisins are all floating on top. How can this particular effect, or in what other areas, can it be useful?
An almost funny, or at least bizarre, example is the so-called avalanche balloon. Suppose you are skiing in the mountains, an avalanche tries to bury you. You have a problem. You can circumvent this problem by inflating a balloon that you carry on your back. You will then be treated by the avalanche like a Brazil nut. You will swim, you will float on top of the avalanche. It might still break your neck, but you will at least be found finally and get a decent funeral.
And there have been experiments carried out where this effect works.
This effect works. It has been tested with dummies on a very large scale, of course, and it has also been tested with real humans, and they all survived. This is the good news.
Excellent. What are the biggest difficulties when it comes to researching sand, especially in light of the fact that each grain of sand can be a different shape or size?
In fact, this is one of the primary obstacles, that they all have different shapes. But in order to make it very explicit, very clearly, sand is not really behaving like a fluid, and it's not really behaving like a solid body. Everybody knows that when you're imagining a pile of sand, it will stay there for years if you don't touch it. It is behaving like a solid body. On the other hand, sand, when rinning through an hourglass, behaves more like a fluid. And the problem is to find the correct mathematics describing both at the same time.
All right, not an easy field. Thank you so much, Professor Rehberg, for coming in to speak with us today.